Okay, so guys, we are back with Brandi Garden, who is the co-founder of Eversio Wellness, and she is not new to our podcast. We've had you on a few times, and we'll just keep having you on because you keep having cool things to
Okay.
say.
Okay.
um, but I genuinely look forward to our conversations. I mean, Brandi and I talked for 45 minutes before we even hit record.
We've already done a whole podcast.
We have, and we didn't record it. But Brandi has written a book. And so I think that it is such a gift for everybody to read. And then we also need to talk more about mushrooms. And I don't know where exactly we'll go with the mushrooms because we could talk about all things, but
Yeah.
I definitely think we're going to be touching on perimenopause
Yeah.
because I if anybody knows Brandi, which if you aren't watching the YouTube video, go take a sneak peek because Brandi is like glowing and happy
Aw.
and joyful, and she just like literally you sailed through perimenopause, and I'm like every time I see you, Brandi, I go, I just want to be Brandi when I grow up.
Ah, that's so kind of you to say. And I do. I'm officially, after blood work, I am officially postmenopausal. And as I was saying to you, I had no idea. I mean, other than no periods, I'm like, did I miss it? Is it going to come? What's happening for me? Is it the mushrooms? But
Mhm.
and I feel like I don't want women to hate me when I say that I did not have even one symptom of
Yeah.
perimenopause or menopause. I feel like I did sail through, and what a gift. But I
Mhm.
do also put a lot of work into my wellness, right? I'm
Yeah.
a nerd. I'm a super nerd, not just a mushroom nerd, but I've lived it the other way. So
Mhm.
I think the gift of what I went through in my pre perimenopause years really set me up for success because I'm so preventative in my day to
Mhm.
day. So I did. I'm through
Yeah.
it, girls.
Yeah.
And thank you for the compliments, but I do feel so full of joy.
Yeah. No, you truly are. When in the beginning of your book, when you didn't, I'm going to phrase this incorrectly, but you said, I am the happiest person I will meet. I was like, that is so true.
Yeah, I do. I think I say, I am the happiest person most people I meet will ever know.
Yes.
And I get it all the time. Why are you so happy all the time? And it's not, I'm not taking those other mushrooms. Promise, promise. I just feel like I've made the decision to, like, fears canceled, judgments canceled, complaining's canceled, suffering is canceled. And I just made a choice in my life at the right time, at the right place to get to be here now. And I'm almost 50, and I can't wait for the second half because it's going to be the complete opposite of the first.
Yeah. And
Yay. And that's why I had to write a book about it, because please don't wait, people. Like, audience of Leah's, please don't wait as long as I did to make those choices to, really take control of your own health. And, Dr. Desiree, who I work with and you've all met here before, loves to say we have to make the choice at some point to be the CEO of our own health. And you will not regret it because it turns out really, really well at the end.
does. I think so I have two things I want to say about this. One,
Okay.
I was talking about hormones on
Yeah.
Instagram one time, like I do every single day.
Hmm.
And somebody messaged me and just said, just wait until
Yeah.
you go through menopause and you won't like hormones anymore. And I was like,
Yeah.
I hope not. I was like, I sincerely believe that all of the work that I have done in
Yeah.
and put into my health will like
Yeah.
pay me dividends.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't want to sit here and be in fear
No.
of all of that. And then the other thing, I when you say you have to take control and be CEO, I hear from people that like they don't want to know like what's going on behind the curtain because they don't want to make any changes. They want to feel better,
Yeah.
but they're just like, I don't want to run that test because like
Because they're
I
in the comfort zone.
yeah, I don't want to do what I know I would have to do.
Yeah.
And I get the fear of the unknown, but truly, like for those around you and those you love, you need to step in and be the CEO of your own health because nobody is going to advocate for you as well as you are. But like everybody around you is reaping the benefits or not the benefits of you
Yes.
not taking care of your health.
Yeah, and it will catch up with you. And I think that's that was the case for me. I knew long before there was a diagnosis, before there was a name to it, something was not right. Right? We're not idiots. We all know when something's not right. And the longer you ignore the whispers, the more they become screams. And there will come a time that you can't ignore them anymore. Right? If you don't make time for your wellness, you're going to be forced to make time for your illness. And when your health is off, there's only one thing that matters to you in your life. That's it. When you are not feeling well, nothing else matters anymore. You can't focus on the rest. Everybody's only getting a little piece or part of you because you can't ignore that. And nobody needs to live that way today. Right? With science where it's at, with information as available as it is, you can open social media and see Leah. You can go into any health food store, and most of the people working there today are well educated about everything in there. And not everything is going to be for you, but when you find the thing and you listen to your body, and that's all it was for me, was
Yeah.
learning to listen. But I did have to hit rock bottom. And I think I wrote the book, I mean, for two reasons. The book is very much a love letter to Eversio Wellness, right? I'm well aware. I'm 50, and this company is going to be around
Mhm.
forever because mushrooms aren't a trend. They're,
Yeah.
they're clearly here to stay, right? They've been around for thousands of years. We just have found a way to educate about them with access
Mhm.
to what we have now. They're
Yeah.
going to be here, and our products, we're growing quickly. We know it's going to be around, but I'm not going to be around forever. And I very much want there to be a legacy around why this company was started, what it came from. And I think the book does that. It tells from before there was Eversio, the creation of, and kind of what's happening now. And I wanted to leave that behind for whatever, whoever, however it exists when there's not me anymore. But as I wrote the book, I also realized, which was very unexpected, that I might have consciously thought I'm writing this for Eversio, but oh my gosh, I wrote that book for me. It was therapy telling the story of, like, I need to be proud of myself. Like, I've come a long way. And I think I had forgotten to really feel proud that I have made progress. And my health is not perfect, right? I don't wake up every day. I mean, I do wake up happy, I'll admit, but I have aches and pains. Like, I dealt with an autoimmune disease that involved a lot of inflammation in my joints. I had psoriatic arthritis, and I have permanent damage in many of my joints that I'm probably going to always have. That I don't know that I will totally reverse all of the damage that I did back then. So I'm very active in my life, and sometimes I will go to lift something heavy, move my body very quickly, and I will get the reminders that, my body's, I'm not an iron woman. And then I stop and I have to say, but man, I've come a long way, and good for me, and be really proud of my progress and not expect perfection. And I think that the book really allowed me to just go back and look at how far I've come and be so excited about where we're headed. So I'm so glad that you read it, because I think, and I said this to you, I think you also have a book in you,
Yeah.
because your story's not much different.
So when I first opened your book, I was like, okay, are we going to be, quoting like science articles, which I was ready to like sit there and screenshot all about and I needed, or I guess take pictures of the mushroom information. And I just read the foreword and I was like, oh, I'm already in the feels. I was like, this is not the book that I thought this was going to be. And it's such an easy read because it's a story. Like it's
Yeah.
storytelling, and mixed into the storytelling is a little bit of awareness for you to kind of take stock of where your health is
Hmm.
and how you can start to habit stack that. And um, I think it's a very easy, actionable way to do it. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, let's like switch over your entire lifestyle today. It's just
No.
what's working for you, what's not working for you. Let me share my story, and maybe you'll find something in there. I don't want you to give away the book, but can you give me the cliff notes of like why you wrote it and got here? Because um, I mean, you had skin cancer multiple times.
Three times. Yeah,
That's
three times.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think that I mean, again, I wrote the book because I wanted the story to be told the way I want it to be remembered. And the book is very much what you're saying. I think of it as a memoir with a message. Like here's what I learned. And then there's a workbook aspect in there because I mean, I was an elementary school teacher for 20 years. Nobody ever learned anything from listening to me stand at the front of a classroom and yap at them for 6 hours a day. You've got to do it. You've
Yeah.
got to get your hands dirty and get in there. And you know that. Do the work. You've got to do the bit of trial and error. So I very much created it as, at this point in my life, here's what was going down. And it is a story. And I mean, I think that's in the beginning of Eversio, I would be invited like this on podcasts. And I had no idea people would be interested to hear that I was a super nerdy teacher with an autoimmune disease that fell in love with mushrooms. But it turns out we come from story, right? When we look at Indigenous communities, nobody wrote anything down. They sat around a campfire and it was all passed through story. So there's something, I think, in all of us that likes to relate to information through a story. So I definitely wanted that to be part of it. So every chapter just starts with, here was what was going down in that part of my life. And I literally start when I was 15 years old. And then moving into and here's the message, like I learned something from that. So I'm a big believer that we are all faced with great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. And I had so many of these situations. I thought that was it. Like my life is ruined because this. And then I get through it. And then, oh no, now this is it. My life is ruined because this. And it was never that, right? They were all just stepping stones, opportunities that I needed to get where I am today. And you said change is so hard for people. We get locked in the comfort zone of, I know, and weight is a great one, right? If you need to lose weight, you know it. You know it. You don't need anybody else to tell you or judge you. You know it and you feel it. And it doesn't happen because it's easier to just say, I have the clothes that fit. I really like eating what I eat. I really like not having to get up and move very much. And this is where I'm at. And it feels safe and it feels comfortable. If you wanted to change, you're going to be uncomfortable. And you're going to have to do things differently than you did the day before. You can't pick up your yesterday and put it on your tomorrow anymore, because that's what you're doing. You're staying the same because you're staying the same. If you want to change, you're going to have to start with this. You're going to have to start with your mind. You're going to have to change your thoughts about the very same situation. And I think that's all that happened for me, is I had to make the choice to look at my life differently. And I had to make the hard choices to not stay the same, to not keep doing things the same way. And that's where the exercises come in. So there's the memoir, there's the message. And then along the way, I have done the work. Roman's like, she did the work. I went to the retreats. I did the workshops. I read the books. I studied the research. I did the work. And through that, the exercises that are in the book are literally exercises that worked for me, that I have tweaked along the way, that I think if someone was starting out and you don't know where to start here. And it's like super basic, right in that book. Like, here's your permission slip to write in the book, and use it as a guide that hopefully stays with you for years to come, because you're not going to want to do all the exercises right now. You might not be ready for them, but finding where you're at and do the work, do the exercise, check in with yourself, and you'll know why I am like this.
Okay, so where I feel like I think everybody can benefit from the book, but what I think that your superpower is, Brandi, and why I highly recommend people read it, is you're very good at seeing like people's, like helping show them their worth. That's what I was looking for. So everybody has worth, right? We all have worth just for existing. But I think as you get knocked around and things get tough, it's easy to see your light dim. And then obviously we don't show up the way that we could, because you guys all know when you're caffeinated, how you show up versus not caffeinated. That's like the easiest example I can give. And it's the same thing. Like when you have your goals and your commitment and how you show up that way versus when you're just kind of floundering. And I think that that is one of your gifts, Brandi, is you make people feel superhuman in that way. And I think that translates when you read the book. You're like, yeah,
Oh,
I
I
am
love
worth
that.
it. I can do this. Like, and it's just, it makes it easy to start making health doable.
Well, and I think I say, I don't know how many times I say it in there. I did it, so
Mm-hmm.
you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special. We all come from the same stardust, I like to say. Doesn't matter what you call it, what you like, we all believe different things. But I think we can all agree we all come from something great made us. And did not make us different from others. I'm not more capable of healing than anyone else out there listening. What I came through, you can come through. And I think we get so caught up in language, right? We put words to things. You have cancer, you have hypothyroidism, you have inflammation, you have yours is arthritis of this kind, and we get wrapped up in that label because it gives
Yeah.
us this, we like that, right? Oh, now I'm labeled, and that feels good because I can have something to connect to and identify with. And I think that's so dangerous. And I think when it came for me, like I had psoriatic arthritis, that was what somebody told me. But when I realized, what I have is a massive imbalance in my body. I'm out of balance, and every disease is that. So forget about the word. It doesn't matter what you have. If you're experiencing disease in your body, you're out of balance, and you are not built that way. You can bring yourself back into balance when you start paying attention and doing and we were talking about this earlier, the bring yourself back to the boring basics. And when
Yeah.
it comes to hormones, which, I mean, this is your zone of genius. It's not, it's science, but it's not rocket science. And for women, especially, we look at the hormonal hierarchy and we look at those base hormones, right? Cortisol, insulin, oxytocin. If you can get those base hormones balanced, no matter what age, stage, phase of life that you're in, the sex hormones, the other things that we complain about, my estrogen, my progesterone, boy, it would be nice if we had a little testosterone other than during ovulation, right? We want to focus on those, but I think if we spent more time focusing on the foundational hormones being balanced, the others will fall in line. And it's not going to happen overnight. But I think that's why mushrooms became the thing for me out of nowhere. And when we look at cortisol regulation, I was a teacher in burnout, as many teachers are. I was not managing stress, which means I was not managing cortisol. And then we look at insulin and blood sugar balance, and there's nobody in my life that couldn't be doing a better job with balancing their blood sugar. And it doesn't mean you have to take a prescription. You could take metformin, or you could frickin' go for a walk after dinner. There's such simple things. And when it comes to oxytocin, that's connection. We all need it, right? We all need to squeeze Leah's babies or look at them through a screen. I feel like I just got a hit of oxytocin because we got a bit of little Roman time in there. And if we could focus on those things and do what you need to do to support them. And for me, mushrooms was the thing. It might be different for other people, but man, if I did not have reishi, if I did not have lion's mane, if I did not have cordyceps, I would not have been able to do the work as quickly as I did to get those base hormones balanced. And then fast forward, is that why perimenopause and menopause were such a breeze for me? Because I went in preventatively without even really knowing it.
Yeah.
So if that message comes across and I don't talk in the book like that. I don't, but I hope the stories show where I was really in full burnout as a teacher with a disease, to figuring out I needed to find balance. And that meant making massive changes in my life. I had to quit my job. I had to end relationships that were not loving to myself. I had to wake up in the morning with a whole new state of mind. I had to wake up in the morning and not look for my arthritis as the first thing. Oh, is my arthritis there? Oh, yeah, there it is. Good. Putting attention on what I didn't want was not serving me. The minute I realized I need to start thinking about the future I do want and put all of my attention on the future me, that I wanted to experience, everything changed. We created a company. I healed. My life is more abundant than I ever could have imagined it could be. And when I say in the book, it could be for you too, I just want it so bad for everyone. So bad for everyone.
Mhm. Well, so something that has been like circulating in our coaching circles over here is personal commitment. Um, and that's personal commitment to you and your goals.
Yes.
And it's hard, we get a lot of women who are in the hormone reset program who are either really sick or
Yes.
they've tried everything, or maybe they just want to optimize, or maybe they're struggling with infertility.
Mm,
And what you said right there was something that we just try and embody so well for them, is that yes, you have all these things going on, but you are not your diagnosis. And if
right.
you get up every single day and as you go throughout your day, you're just looking for, is my symptom still there? Am I going to feel weird after eating this? Of course I'm going to. If you just go through your day constantly looking for those symptoms, you are a self-fulfilling prophecy and your body's
Yes.
going to be like, yep, here they are. They're still
Hmm.
here. And that's because that is horrible, because we don't want those symptoms, but it's comfortable. We're
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
And it is actually a little scary to imagine a future where you didn't have them,
Right.
because they have been a part of you for so long. Even though you
Yes.
say that you want something else, are we actually taking the action to get rid of them?
Wait, I just had this conversation with someone yesterday. What is the payoff of
Yeah.
staying not changed, of staying how you are? And people will look at you like, "What do you mean? It's terrible. I wish I didn't feel this way." Well, there's a reason you still feel that way, and it's a hard thing to admit, but I'm on the other side, and I will tell you, when I had to ask myself that hard question, or even my amazing husband Craig looking across the table from me and saying, if I'm having a flare, so for me it was autoimmune, so I would literally flare like a blowfish. And he would say to me, "What's going on? Like, what's changed?" "I don't know. I ate gluten." "Well, that's not it. I did this. I'm stressed, whatever." And he would say to me, "What are you getting out of it? Like, is it that you need more attention? Do you need permission to slow down?" And wow, when you are honest with yourself, he was right every time. I knew sometimes those flares were literally my body's way of saying, "I need permission to stop and rest." And this is my way of kind of saying that without a voice. Or, "I need sympathy and I need attention." And this is this, metaphorical way of getting that. And if that's so hard, that is so hard for people to admit that they're getting something out of their illness. And as the minute you pay attention to that, the minute you bring awareness to it, it will be gone. Right? It's ego. When you say, "Yeah, I did just need some sympathy. I just needed somebody to love me unconditionally and give me a bit of attention and take care of me, and the disease gives me that." Okay, well, now that I recognize that was it, I could get that another way. I don't need to have this to do it. You let go. You let go of that attachment and identity to it, and you can start to move on beyond it. It's very powerful, and it's yucky. And you don't need
It
a
is.
therapist to tell you that. That's just being honest with yourself, right? There doesn't need to be guilt and shame in needing attention. We all need that.
Mhm.
We all need to rest, and we don't do it enough. I talk about this all the time. We live in a patriarchal society. It's insanity. How are we living in this world where the circadian rhythm is the only thing we use to dictate what a day, a week, a month look like? It is not how we women should be working. And I say to Craig all the time, if I could go back to a younger self and become an entrepreneur earlier, in my company, women would not come to work during their menstrual phase.
Mhm.
They wouldn't. I'm not afraid to say it out loud. We are not small men.
Mhm.
Something totally different is going on for us. And I mean, we can be beasts in business. Look at you. But when we recognize when those times come for us, and it's not every single day, 9 to 5, we are not going to be our best selves. If we could recognize and maximize how our hormones do actually show up for us, we'd be ruling the world. But we're living in a world that's not built for us that way. And it makes it hard. It makes it hard for people to show up and be able to take the time to recognize the root cause of things and take the time it will take to address them, because it means you are going to have to press pause, take care of yourself, slow down, and our world doesn't really allow it.
So, yes, that's all I got. Yes. I feel like every time I have a baby, I hit like the 4 to 6 month mark and I like start to rediscover this name of self-care, because it's, when you're in that new baby world, it's, you're in the new baby world. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
You're nursing on demand. They sleep when they want to sleep, and
Yeah.
you take your time when you can get it. But I told my husband the other day, I had gotten up at 5:30 and had 10 minutes of silence sitting in front of my red light, like silence.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I typically would try and like journal or listen to something, and it was just silence. And I told him, I'm like, the kids are like, Killian was outside playing. Roman was sitting with me. I was sitting on my swing, drinking my morning coffee. It was like 10 a.m. by this point, and I was like, this is so wonderful. I should get up at 5:30 all the time and have 10 minutes of silence.
Right? I meditate in the morning, and it is, don't, it's, and the dog can be licking me. Literally, my kids will tap me on my shoulder. They know I'm meditating. Like I'm sitting with my eyes closed with headphones in. It doesn't matter. Those moments, the quiet, that time for just reflection, whatever you're doing there. For some people, it's prayer. Some people, it's silence. Some people, it's meditation. The point is, it's about you. And too many people are not taking it, and that is where the magic is. And I think it's because it's the unknown. As you sit there in that silence, that's where the good stuff happens. You're being super present, and when we can get in the unknown, in that place, I'm sure in those 10 minutes things came up for you, right?
Yeah.
What comes up when you slow down, that saying,
Mhm.
that's where the magic nuggets of life occur. But you intentionally had to decide, I'm just going to take 10 minutes for me. Like, what a beautiful gift. What a lovely act of selfishness.
Yeah.
That's called self-care. It's not selfish. I'm sure just Roman being in your presence, to see you be like that, affects him, right? We know heart coherence is a thing. When you are in that state, you are completely regulated. The people around you are more likely to be able to be regulated. So, I
Yeah.
mean, what a gift for you. And I mean, I think that tells you where you are at in your stage of postpartum,
Yeah.
that you can take. So you're probably ready to make another one.
We're only sitting at 5 months right now.
I don't know. You
Um,
make cute kids. It might
they
be
are
time.
cute. I was like, why do your own babies have to give you baby fever? How does that work? So when you talked about co-regulation, I want to take a step back there, because yes, because when I'm more calm and centered, then my kids are able to
Mm-hmm.
co-regulate with me versus
Yes.
me being behind on the day. And you know, the self-care and co-regulation has looked different through the different weeks of postpartum. But when you said that about Craig giving you your permission slip
Yeah.
to slow down, I think that is, I'm going to say hands down, the hardest thing for women to do,
Yeah.
because it, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if it's we feel the need to be everything, or we feel the need to not show weakness. We view it as a sign of weakness. But that is something so big. I think we give our ladies in the hormone reset is they're joining to get a permission slip for us to tell them, you need to do this,
Yep.
even though maybe they already knew parts of that journey.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so interesting that we know we should ask for help. We know we should slow down until we get knocked over by a boulder. And I still feel like every day I'm still working on this. Like I literally upfront will tell my husband, I'm like, I know that I'm working on this. I know that I need to improve on it. And I just say it. And there are times when I am nursing the baby or the kids are doing whatever. And he goes, hey, did you want me to make you eggs? And I'm like, no, I'm going to get it in a couple minutes. And he comes
No,
back and he goes,
say yes.
he comes back, he goes, I think you meant to say, yes, I would love
Love
eggs.
it.
And also put some chicken sausage with it. And I'm like, yes, that is what
Ah,
I meant to
you
say.
know, you've got a good person in your life. And I think it's the magical everything to just allow someone to love you in the times that you get it. And it could be your kids, it
Mhm,
could be a neighbor, it could be
mhm.
your spouse, but it can also be you. Right. And I think if we did it more often, if think about if you went to the doctor and you had a rash and the doctor gave you a prescription, you would use it. You would put that cream on that rash and that rash would go away. Why are we so conditioned as a society for a prescription to have to come from someone in a white lab coat and in a pill form? If the prescription is you need to ask for help 4 times this week, I'm telling you because I love you more than that doctor does. I promise it's going to make a difference. That's your prescription. It doesn't have to come in a pill form and it doesn't have to come from somebody with a medical degree. But
Yeah,
we're just, and I think we all know we are at a place in time where we're learning that we can't just rely on Western medical prescriptions as the answers to everything. They are not. They're necessary. Pharmaceuticals are necessary for acute use in many situations, but they are not the quick fix that's the answer 98% of the time. It's the little things, it's the stress management. I think about where I was and listening to your life, and we all experience stress and we just call it one thing. It's I'm stressed, but there's physical stress, there's chemical stress, and there's emotional stress. And
yeah,
most of us are pretty good at preventatively managing the physical stress in our life. Physical stress is our injuries from sport and our, the car accidents, the actual physical trauma to our body. And we know if we're being active, if we're moving our body, if we're exercising and staying in shape, we can be pretty good at recovering from those things, right? I tore my shoulder last year, super inconvenient, hurt like heck. But I knew I didn't need a doctor to help heal it. I knew what to do and it took time and I was able to heal. Chemical stress, we're all exposed. You talk about it so much in our skincare, right? It's the pesticides in our food. It's if you're not eating 100% organic and using super clean skincare and only buying products that aren't made from forever chemicals, you're exposed to chemical stress all of the time. But again, we're so aware of how we can prevent it. Now, it doesn't mean you're doing it, but there's no lack of education out there about how to prevent the chemical
yeah.
stress on yourself. But the emotional stress, I think, this is the one humanity needs to work on the most. I think people are so unaware of how to manage their emotional stress. And for it, is it just what you described? You are going to feel less stressed when you take the time out to shut your eyes, to be still, to find silence, to feel your heart become coherent, get into a regular rhythm, a slowed down regular rhythm. That when your heart gets there, it is going to tell your brain that it is safe to create.
Mhm.
And if you when you feel it the first time, and that's why I said you probably had great thoughts in those moments. And that's what happened for me when I learned to slow down, when I got my heart slow and coherent and feeling full of love. And I mean, I physically could feel the warmth of it when I'd focus on it and breathe in through it and take that time, that it how fast the message goes from the heart to the brain to get on board with that same coherence and tell you, hey, we're safe here. And as soon as it gets that message, there's nothing, you're going to create your new reality. Like future you becomes something you can actually feel and see and understand. And if we could get people doing that little action, slowing down long enough to get in this safe creative space, now you've moved from survival to creation,
Mhm.
and it's life's going to get better and better. And if you could do it every day, whew, on fire, on fire.
Yeah.
So I think, managing emotional stress, let's just spend more time like we do on the other ones, focusing on that. And it can come in so many little ways. Letting somebody make you eggs is not hard to do. Say yes when somebody offers you help, and then be grateful for it. That feeling of gratitude is that feeling I'm talking about in the heart, right? When you are grateful to somebody else, guess what? You're also feeling the gratitude. You're giving it away and they feel great, and you felt it in order to give it. So let's be grateful for more little things in the day. Like you said, instead of paying attention to what we're not grateful for, forget it. Don't
Yeah.
give it any more attention.
Yeah.
Whew.
Bless and release. So while I would like to keep on this trend, I do want to give people some mushroom
Ah.
insight. Um, and can we talk about the 5 mushroom blend that's
We
coming out?
can. Oh, the
Well,
5 mushroom
yeah,
blend. It's been such a long time coming. And,
yeah,
I think by the time you're all listening to this, it's available for you and you'll be able to go read about all of it on the website. But I think it's so important for you to know the why behind it. And I mean, we're 5 years in now at Eversio. So I think we're no longer considered a startup. We're an emerging brand. And the 2 naturopathic doctors that work with us every day are always looking at the greatest need in our community, in our audience. And it's all of you. It's all of you out there listening. This is the community that we've built. And so many women who are perimenopausal, menopausal, are asking for, what's the best way for me to start? And it's so hard to be individual for people. But I think what we recognized is that we didn't have something that was able to kind of address most of the things in that stage of life. And when we very much thought in the beginning about, cordyceps in the morning, lion's mane in the afternoon, reishi at night. Like if you're going to be basic and you want to start super simple, that's what we would say to people, talking about it in a capsule form, because so many people, like you when we met you, Leah, I don't want to taste it. I'm not sure. And now you do. But
yeah,
it's, I would say, the most convenient, simple way for someone to start if they're not already interested in mushrooms is with a capsule. And that was it. And then we started reading the research about what happens when you consume cordyceps and reishi together, which seems counterintuitive because cordyceps is energy and reishi is relaxation. But when you look at the research, and I mean, all I had to do, I'm a matcha drinker. I'm drinking my mushroom matcha right now. And matcha is a great example where you've got a bit of caffeine alongside naturally some L-theanine. And that's this gas break. So when we looked at cordyceps and reishi together, and we looked at the research around hormones and those two things, this is it, right? These women in this stage, we need cordyceps for the libido and the energy and the inflammation benefits it has. We need reishi as the adaptogen, the stress resilience, the calm, and the inflammation and the antioxidants in there. And we knew we wanted to put those two together in a blend. And then when we looked at, okay, how are we going to make this the super blend? What's missing? And when what I just talked about, insulin sensitivity is massive in this stage of life. We look at PCOS, we look at so many of the things that become the condition, and we
yeah,
look at what's the root cause. And insulin sensitivity, blood sugar regulation becomes the piece. So when you look at research for mushrooms and insulin sensitivity, blood sugar regulation, it's a mushroom we actually don't talk about hardly ever, and it's maitake.
right.
So maitake, Maitake, if you want to go look it up, is known as the dancing mushroom. And it's known as that because it literally was worth its weight in silver back in ancient Asian times. So when people went into the forest to look for it and they found it, they would literally do a happy dance because of its value. So it's now today known as, the word maitake in Japanese literally means the dancing mushroom. And it's beautiful. People will call it a gray tree flower. And it actually does grow in North America, but plentifully and used for centuries in Asian countries because of its massive immunomodulating benefits. While all of the mushrooms have that, but it's the one that has the best research around blood sugar regulation. And we thought, why are we not paying more attention to this mushroom? And this is definitely the blend where it belongs. So in the 5 mushroom blend, the 3 heavy hitters, and in the highest dose. So the first time we've built a blend where it's not equal parts of the five mushrooms there. So you're getting a full therapeutic dose of reishi, of cordyceps, and of maitake. And I think those three together are just the hormone balancing magical trio. The two other mushrooms we put in, no surprise to you, lion's mane will always be my favorite mushroom. It was my first love, for the brain health and the gut health benefits. So it's in there. And then tremolo. So we took away tremolo capsules on their own. They were just our least popular product. I think people were using it for skin health, but they are getting so many other benefits by using the other mushrooms or blends that people who liked it for skin health would just use the 6 mushroom blend where we had it. And we
Yeah.
had to take the 6 mushroom blend away because we had oyster mushroom in there, which is amazing, but Health Canada never did give us clearance on talking about oyster mushroom as a medicinal mushroom. So we could not get a license on it. So we brought the tremolo back. And tremolo is amazing for skin, glowing skin, and amazing for gut health and amazing for the brain. So we
Yeah.
know research with tremolo shows neurite outgrowth. So it's actually increasing your neurogenic rate, or the growth of new brain cells, which lion's mane does as well. So reishi, cordyceps, maitake, and then lion's mane and tremolo in there. And oh my gosh, I could bathe in this blend. It's such an easy thing to add. I know you like to put it in your energy balls, your little bites, part of cyclical living. This is going to be right in our cyclical living protocol, which we will relaunch. And it's I put it in my matcha. So many people are going to put it in their morning coffee or in their oatmeal, but such a lovely way to get all of the mushrooms we would recommend working synergistically. They're always better together. They're always enhancing the benefits of each other. So they're making the beta glucans work better by adding some triterpenoids from reishi in there. The cordycepin coming from cordyceps is going to enhance the beta glucan effects. So that's the blend that we are offering to everyone, man, woman, it doesn't matter. But if you are perimenopausal and you are suffering from some of the symptoms there, this will be the blend that we will say begin here.
I think that everybody needs maitake. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even remotely kidding, because I was talking to my coaches about this, because we rarely, very rarely have somebody come in that doesn't have a blood sugar
Yeah.
imbalance and a
Yeah.
metabolic disorder.
Yeah.
And we preach blood sugar balance till we're blue in the face.
Yes.
But this comes in to just support that
Yeah.
so much. I mean,
Yeah.
I fell over literally. I was listening to you guys talk about the research on maitake.
Yeah.
And
Episode 27.
yes,
Yeah, you have to hear Dr. Desiree talk about it.
you have to.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was messaging Caitlin, who's one of our head coaches. I should screenshot it. It was like boom, 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 boom message. She wasn't answering me yet, but I was like, and then it does this, and then it does this, and then it does this. And she
Yeah.
was like, what on earth are you talking about? She's
Yeah.
like, there's nothing that does all this. I'm like, yes, it's a mushroom. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And when you can balance out blood sugar, I am telling you, so many things fall into
Yeah.
place. So I am so excited that it's coming in this 5 mushroom blend, and it's
Yeah.
coming. Maitake's coming as standalone, right?
Yes. So we're why not do two? I mean, if you're gonna go through a launch at back to school time, why not do two at the same time? So again, we work with we're in Canada, so we have to work with Health Canada, and the maximum acceptable dose of maitake in Canada is 7,000 milligrams per day. And you know us, like, we are go big or go home, right?
Yep.
So we thought, okay, you're getting a therapeutic dose in the blend. You're getting 250 milligrams of an 8-to-1 extract in the blend. So you're going to get a good dose in there. That's in line with the good research. But for the people that want to take the full therapeutic dose, we're gonna build you a capsule. That's why we have the capsule, so we get the max dose in there and get the license on it and be able to offer it as medicine. So for us, so that means our maitake capsule is going to have 400 milligrams per capsule of an 8-to-1 extract. So I'll do the math for you. So 400 times 8 gives you 3,200 milligrams in one capsule, 6,400 milligrams in two. So you're just right on the edge of that 7,000 milligram max. So if you take two, you're at the max dose. Like, all the good research that's done out there, there's no sense in taking more than that. and you are going to get the specific benefits of just the maitake for those. And when we look at that, this is, so if you are working on A1C, right, fasting glucose or your insulin, this is going to be in the mushroom world, the heaviest hitter for you. And Dr. Desiree goes like, we're going 1-for-1 on metformin. Like someone's going to break my kneecaps one day for saying that, but the research is there.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And I mean, I eat maitake mushrooms regularly. Leah, you're going to do it one day. We're going to get them in your air fryer.
I need you to just come and like indoctrinate me because they just scare me.
Okay, every time I post, I'm trying to be better at getting in stories on Instagram every time I make mushrooms, which is almost every day. But I think of you every time. I'm like, okay, I'm making shiitake tonight. I got to get in there in case Leah might see it and see how delicious they are. We had, I'm up at our lake house this summer. And so lots of friends and family have been in and out to stay with us for a week or two. And one of our friends is a chef, like well recognized. He has won Iron Chef multiple times, and he made mushrooms for us. He made shiitake and broccoli while he was here. And every kid out on the deck asked for more, licked their lips, so delicious. And I mean, we have it at Costco. So I don't know if you do down in the US, but our Costco's here in Canada have USDA organic certified shiitake mushrooms, and they are like, they're my meat. There's nothing you can't do with them. I'll put them in my spaghetti sauce. I'm just sauteing them and eating them with my veggies. So many great things you can do with them. And maitake is harder to find, but it's one of those things you can eat it and get some of those benefits.
Okay.
The research around maitake and PCOS, just go Google it. I don't need to give you all of the things, but go on Google Scholar, multiple studies showing that women who are not ovulating, which is typical with PCOS, you'll be prescribed all the things by a doctor, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. If you are taking the pharmaceutical prescribed to you and it's not working, and you add maitake, over 90% of the time, you will now ovulate. Like maitake is that helper that can come in, and sometimes people just taking it on its own will allow that ovulation to take place. Again, like we said, we need to ovulate, right? It's part of, it should be happening for us. And it honestly is when we will feel the best. And if those base hormones are not balanced and healthy, is that why we aren't getting the ovulation connected to the sex hormones? And I think that's a lot of why maitake does this for women, right? Yeah. And it's also, I think we're getting 40% beta glucans in our testing on our maitake product. It's the highest. We have to ask Health Canada if we can allow it to be that high, because it's higher than what they want. But 40% of what's in that capsule is maitake beta glucans, which means this is massive for immune support. And the cancer research in Asia with maitake it's all about the incredible ways they're seeing it as a support for cancer treatments. Again, not always alone, but enhancing the benefits of whatever other treatments are out there. And that is the beta glucans. And when we talk about beta glucans, we have to remember they're different in every mushroom, right? Maitake beta glucans look different under a microscope than reishi beta glucans, than lion's mane. So they're all polysaccharides. They come in this string. They are all helping to modulate the immune system. They're all great for gut health, but the ones in maitake behave a little differently in the body than the others. And when we see the specific cases of cancer research, it's fascinating to me. Yeah, I'm a super nerd. We know folks that are looking for cholesterol and liver support. There's research on that for maitake. Yeah. And of course, it's one of the highest in ergothioneine, which we could do a whole episode on the ergo. But this is, researchers are calling this the longevity vitamin, right? I predict there will not be a supplement company that does not have isolated ergothioneine in their lineup. But I believe you should be getting the ergothioneine naturally occurring alongside the other hundreds of compounds in there. And maitake is top of the list, right? Yeah. I think we've got porcini mushrooms are the highest that we think right now. So if you're in Italy and eating them, you're getting lots of ergothioneine. But lion's mane and maitake are the two that I would look to just for my ergothioneine alone. So we had to put it in a capsule, right? We had to say this might be the missing link specifically for the community of people looking for those things. So you're getting two, Maitake in a capsule. It's a beautiful Tiffany blue label.
I saw it.
It's gorgeous because some people want it to look nice on their bathroom counter when they're loving themselves by adding it to the morning routine. And then the blend, the 5 mushroom blend, is a beautiful grass green, spring, rejuvenation, youthfulness. But they're both going to glow, and I can't wait to hear what your community thinks when they start adding them.
They're going to be obsessed. So literally, I told my team, I was like, my goal is that we should just sell out this launch so that they never take it away.
I'm okay with that. Let's go for it. Let's go.
It's so good. So Maitake is the mushroom in my world that I equate to Chinese skullcap in the herb world.
Yeah.
And the reason why is like whenever the coaches will bring up like something super complicated that's going on, they're like, don't tell me that Chinese skullcap also helps this. And I'm like, but it does. It actually does. Yeah. Like Chinese skullcap does so many things. Yeah. And that's how I feel about Maitake, because when you can really support all those core foundations, what are you missing, right? Like you're supporting ovulation, you're supporting insulin, you're supporting your blood sugar, you're supporting your immune system.
Yeah.
And I just think it will make everybody's dreams come true. And it's one of those things where people are like, can you just give me one supplement, Leah, that will change my life? Yes, I can. It is here. I've been asking for
I feel like that was reishi for, and I think reishi, it's not us saying it, the Materia Medica, right? The Bible of traditional Chinese medicine, year after year after year, it goes through an assessment all the time to reassess, what are the herbs looking like today? Reishi's always number one. Always. Yeah. And it's that one that people say, how could it do? It can do that. And it does that. And it does that. Like, how could it be? And it does different things. Like, I still think reishi is something everybody can benefit from.
Yeah.
But it's doing different things. And I think that's where Maitake doesn't get the recognition, because reishi's always been the one. So this is almost like a battle of the best coming out. And I think if you were going to want to have both, you would do Maitake in the day and reishi at night.
Yes, I would. Well, actually, I don't choose. I don't just, I just have them all.
We're both lucky that we just have access to them all.
Yes. So actually, funny story. When I was asking my husband to help me put together like the men's gift guide for like a non-toxic gift guide, and I was like, okay, just give me like lists of your favorite things that I can like put on here. And he's like going through all the things, and he goes in the stuff in the red bottle, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the mushrooms. And I was like, cordyceps. Yeah.
I love it.
That is in his list of favorite things. So
it would be Craig's too. He doesn't go off. He doesn't go without it very often. And I think the fact that it's in the 5 mushroom blend, I'm very curious to see how, people love the 3 mushroom blend. It's got the cordyceps, lion's mane, turkey tail. This is a different spin on seeing how it's going to behave with reishi. And again, I love the gas break effect that we're getting there. I'm very curious to see the men in our community who love cordyceps, I think are going to love. I love having it in this blend too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. So where can people get your book? I know they can go to Eversio Wellness, but if you want to walk us through that.
Yeah. Well, the book is called Healing Your Body, Mind, and Soul. It is available on Amazon, both in Canada and the US, if that's where you're already doing your purchasing. And you can go to my own website now, which is brand new to me. So brandigarden.com. There are links that to all of the places you might be able to get it. And I'll tell you this, it'll be the first place that I say it. I, this summer, in this very room, recorded the audiobook version. I know. So many people asked. We did a book launch. So the book launched on July 17th. And I mean, it was a very exciting day for me. Not quite as good as having a baby, but it was very exciting. We did have balloons and all the things. And it was very exciting to see it in people's hands. But we very quickly realized there are readers and there are listeners. And I think especially we're on a podcast right now. You and I both love to consume podcasts. It's, I'm a very curious
Mhm.
spongy, forever student of life. I
Yeah.
know I will never know enough, right? The day I
Mhm.
die, I'll probably be listening to a podcast. I just want to know all the things.
Mhm.
And I also love to walk. I walk a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do love to just, especially in a forest, walk in silence. But if I'm walking
Yeah.
just to get my steps in, I'm probably
Yeah.
listening to something where
Yeah.
I'm learning
Yeah.
something new. And I think that is, again, the beginning of how we start to change our mind and our thoughts is adding new
Yeah.
information that we didn't have
Mhm.
before. So I thought at the beginning of summer, I know there are people in my life who will never read my book because they're just not readers, honest.
Yeah.
And I thought that's on me to decide, do I want it to be accessible to everyone? So I sat my butt down and I read and read and read. My old teacher voice came out, and it is complete, and it's in editing. And even maybe by the time this is out, there will be an audiobook version. So if you are someone that doesn't love to read, but you want to hear my nerdy voice, that's going to be available too. And it will be on Amazon as well as our website. So you can go find it there, alongside the two new products that are going to be, I think they're going to be the fall winter besties as we go into these new exciting seasons this year.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thanks for letting us share a bit of Roman screen
Oh,
time in the
yeah.
beginning of the episode. That was the treat for me. My oxytocin for the day is complete.